Hi, we're Travel with Johnny and Will. This is day 3 of our azamarapursuit cruise. We are still docked in Livorno. This was an overnight in Livorno, and this is the second day.
Yeah, so we got up early, we had breakfast in our cabin, which we'll insert some footage of here now, and we're now going on a trip to Pisa. So yesterday we did our city sightseeing tour of Livorno, and city sightseeing group had actually seen our post on social media and had reached out to us to invite us on a trip to Pisa or Florence today. So as we have plans this afternoon, we chose a half-day excursion into Pisa. So come along with us. So we made our way to the cruise shuttle bus stop in Livorno, and it's about a 10-minute walk. We'll show you on the screen the little route to take to get there, and so you know you're in the right place. It's actually beside the tourist information centre.
And once you board the bus, it's only around a 45-minute transfer from the cruise shuttle stop to the coach park for Pisa.
Yeah, so basically, whenever we arrived in the coach park, we were reminded of our meetup time, the time to be back on the bus, and it's roughly a 10-minute walk, mostly flat, from the coach park then to Miracle Square. Before you leave Livorno, basically city sightseeing will give you a map, and on the map there is a little sort of dotted route that takes you then from that coach park to Miracle Square. If you're any good at reading maps, that is. We
And
sort
if
of
there's a sign that says, don't go down this route because of roadworks, please do follow it, because there was people who knew the way, and this was the way we had previously went.
Yeah.
And then they had to turn, and these are the same people that were rushing across the railway, and yeah, karma got them.
So just follow the signs for tourists, and you'll not go too far wrong. So once you arrive in Miracle Square, yes, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to the ticket centre. There's a large building on your sort of right hand side, and there's like a ticket centre, and then there's a museum. So get your tickets there. The tickets that you can get, there's a free ticket to get you into the cathedral. You pay, I think, around €7 to get into the baptistry. That was actually closed yesterday.
Close, yeah. And even part of the cathedral was being,
yeah, there was
works
renovations
going
and
on.
things.
So
And then obviously if you wanted to go up the tower itself. So first things first is go and pick up those tickets, because before, whenever we've been to Pisa, we've made the mistake of going to the cathedral door and then being turned away.
and having to walk back.
Yeah. As you can see from the footage we're inserting here, Pisa, even though this is November, it was by no means quiet. There was still plenty of hustle and bustle. But after we got our tickets, we went into the cathedral first, and we had a look around the cathedral, and we just sort of spent some time there having quiet reflection, and just sort of watching the pieces of art on the walls, and the roofs, like the
gold and the
Yeah.
design and the architectures. It's really all very, very beautiful. So it is.
Yeah. So after we went to into the cathedral, we came back round, and obviously we had taken a few snaps of the Leaning Tower. And to be honest with you, like, we've been here a couple of times. For us, the scenes don't get boring. Although we're not really, we're not going to try and get those Instagrammable pics anymore. The ones where we took one. Oh, if we can find the picture, we should really put it on now. We took one, member of a coming out of your backpack one year. But the thing was, we sat and had a coffee, literally at a little coffee shop, and it was only a couple of euros for the coffee, which I was surprised. And we sat and had a coffee, and we actually just sort of watched the world go by, watched basically hundreds upon hundreds of people all getting that right picture that they
Yeah,
wanted.
it is slightly odd. I mean, if the tower was straight, it definitely wouldn't have been as popular, and
Yeah.
people are just wanting to see it because it's the Leaning Tower, and it's famous for the fact that it
Leans.
leaned over.
Yeah.
So it's a very bizarre place, but it's also a very beautiful little spot.
However, if you think back to the first time we went, back in 2018 on our very first cruise, me and Will nearly broke up over the fact that I straightened the tower in the photos. I'm terrible
Yeah.
at taking photos. And Will was
Great.
like, Will was cracking up with me, so he was, because he wanted all these brilliant pictures, and I wasn't getting any of them for him. So that's now past us. We had a coffee, and then we started to slowly make our way back to the coach pickup point. On our way back, you'll see that there's little market stalls and things like that you can stop and buy some souvenirs and things.
And there is street sellers as well, so just be aware. They'll have an ongoing scam where they'll say to you, "Oh, €1, only €1," and they'll try and put a bracelet on your arm. So whether that's being used as a distraction technique for them to get their friend to pickpocket you or something, so just be very aware, because it's never going to be as good as it initially seems. So if in doubt, just walk on.
But yeah, so back on the coach, we headed then back to the centre of Livorno, and then we made our way back to the ship. The transfer itself, we were gifted this trip, as we previously mentioned, by City Sightseeing Livorno. However, the normal price is €19 per adult for that trip, and €13 for children under the age of 9. And they do offer a back to ship on time guarantee. So that is obviously something that's important to remember. Plus the fact that obviously your cruise line will want you to buy their excursions to Pisa, and the one thing that they always say is, we're the only ones that will make sure you get back to the ship on time. But cruise ships have been coming to these ports for years now. The tour guides and the local tour operators, they know that if people are going to want to use their service, that basically they go on reviews, so they know that they have to offer the same guarantees as the cruise ships offer.
So we got back on board and we were feeling a bit peckish, so again we went up to Windows Cafe on deck 9, and this lunch went quite well, I thought. I had some of the orange chicken, and they had a little bit of Thai rice, and all of it was really fresh and really delicious.
Yes, I had a salad, so I did, and then I also then had some of that chicken and rice because it looked really yummy, and it really was.
We had to actually edit this part because we had made a mistake within the original recording. Actually, at this point in the afternoon, we went to the spa on board, which is called the Sanctum Spa, and we each had the manager's special, which basically was like a full body massage. It was nice to spend this time relaxing and chilling out, but it definitely wasn't the best massage we've had at sea.
So dinner tonight, we headed to Discovery's restaurant again. We didn't want a chance going back to the Windows Cafe after our disaster the night before. So we headed basically down to the restaurant. We didn't have long to wait to get in at all, a couple of minutes. And we were seated again right at the back of the restaurant, beside a window at the aft of the ship, which was really nice.
Yeah. So tonight's theme was a taste of China, and again, maybe the slightly more adventurous one, I decided to go for all of the taste of China options that they suggested to go for. So I had the duck and pancakes to start, and I had a beautiful hoisin sauce. And then for my main, I had the crispy Szechuan beef. Again, it was quite small. All these meals seemed to be quite small, but the flavour of this was out of this world. It was so nice. It was the best Szechuan beef I've ever had. It was so delicious. And then I had the mango pudding, which was like a little sponge cake for my dessert, and it was fine as well.
Yeah, I was torn. I sort of thought I would want the Szechuan beef, and whenever I saw yours again, I sort of thought, oh, I'm going to have food envy. But for starters, I actually tried the Louisiana gumbo, which was really good.
What is a gumbo?
Oh, it was like a broth kind of thing with like a smoked sausage in it, and vegetables. It was really nice. And then I had the New York strip steak. I was like my steak well done, and it came and it was perfect, and it came with some chips. And then I had the chocolate truffle cake with berry coulis, and it was really nice. Very chocolatey, but really nice.
So far for me, the meals in the MDR, which is Discovery's restaurant, have been really out of this world in terms of flavour, although they've all been slightly on the small side, but I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I think if you wanted more, you could probably ask for
You
more.
could, yeah.
But the service has been really superb in that restaurant too.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it has. We haven't really waited long. Like it hasn't taken us a long time to have our meal.
No.
So after our meal, we headed then through the ship, and we stopped off at the Den to grab a drink, and then we headed into the cabaret lounge. So this evening, we wanted to go to the destination presentation, which was given by a lecturer on board. His name is Dr. Martin Rayish, I think is how you pronounce it. And basically his talk was basically entitled The Billionaire's Playground and then the Isle of Beauty. And that was basically about our next two stops, which is Monaco and Corsica. And we really enjoyed the talk and really enjoyed learning about the next two ports that we were going to. And I think what I really enjoyed about this talk was the fact that it was an enrichment kind of talk, in terms of it was informative. It wasn't just a sales pitch from a destination services.
Yeah, because like, you could tell he definitely didn't know that much about the excursion, but he said, and then he threw in some things to do with those places and said, there's a good excursion to hear. But did you say he wasn't selling those excursions specifically?
No.
It's one of the things that I didn't know about Monaco was that it's a principality, and the meaning of that is that it's ruled or governed by a prince, which I just didn't even know the meaning of the word before. And there's only 3 places in the world that are ruled by princes, which I think one's in Switzerland and one was Liechtenstein, and then Monaco's the third one.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely learned a lot of new things about our next 2 stops. After the talk was over, it lasted maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. We decided just to have a quick drink in the Den before heading back to our cabin. Like I said, had been an early start for us this morning, getting up early because we knew that our breakfast would be arriving at the cabin probably at 7:30, and we were getting a bit tired. So that is us for our day 3 and part 2 of our day in Livorno.
If you've been liking these videos so far, please give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit subscribe and click that bell to be notified the next time we post a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.